Hello and welcome to this pre-ESOMAR Qualitative Global 2014 event interview. It's fantastic to be joined by Rhiannon Price, who's joined me last thing on a Friday. So if that isn't commitment to the industry, then I don't know what is. But thanks for joining me, Rhiannon. Do you want to first of all tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Rhiannon. I work at North Star London. We're a full-service market research agency. I am the head of Qual here. I've been here for 10 years. So part of the furniture, but still very much love my job. So we are an international agency. We've got 2 offices in North America, in New York and Toronto. From the London office, we service pretty much all of the world. And like 65% of all of our work is international. I spend most of my life traveling on a plane, which is fabulous, but strong focus on sort of the cultural significance of the people we talk to and the things that they say. So that's why we're really excited to be involved in ESOMAR this year.
More about why you're going to ESOMAR 2014, or particular reasons that you've chosen this conference over perhaps others that have been available.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I've got a heavily qualitative focus. And I think this year, with the whole Renaissance theme that was happening, it's something very close to mine and North Star's heart. We've been working very hard over the last few years to try and push the way that market research is seen as an industry, and also the way that we actually function as an industry. And that's kind of what my paper is a lot about this year, and I'm going to be speaking at ESOMAR about trying to help the market research industry to better their image, as it were, and to get research truly heard and to make an impact.
Okay, so can we go a little bit more deeply into that? And can you tell us a little bit about kind of what you've been studying around that topic?
Yeah, so the key principle of what we're talking about is the essence of sort of the notion of obliquity. And it stems from the idea that market researchers are always, well, more often than not, third-party, external sort of agencies, and that becomes a big problem for us when we try and get our research actually listened to and actioned in big organisations. So what we've been working with Jaguar Land Rover on recently over the last few years is ways that we can try and make ourselves stand out a bit more, to make people actually listen to market research and to sort of stop ourselves from being just simply corporate wallpaper. So what my paper will be talking about is the principle of obliquity, that actually we're sometimes much better taking an indirect approach to our actions than actually taking a direct approach. So one of the main flaws I think that we do as an industry is, because we're so busy and because the timelines are so tight, we take a research objective and we target that and we use that as our primary driving force through the project. In actual fact, what we should be doing, and what would actually benefit us a lot more, is to take a step back and look at what the author of this obliquity book, John Kay, talks of the higher level goal. So, i.e., are there some, how are people going to be using the research? What are some of the internal questions or politics that surround the research objective? Because if we don't understand them and we only sort of talk to the intermediate objective, then it's less likely to make an impact and actually be usable for the people that need to use it.
Sure. And is this something that you feel that, I've heard it said before, for example, that market research perhaps needs to get given a bit more character, or it kind of needs to develop its personality a little bit more, and that just, you made me think of that when you said that we're kind of seen as the wallpaper. Is that something you go along with?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, when I do my talk at ESOMAR, we'll talk by saying that market research in its own right, the word seems to be a dirty word these days. People avoid using it. People sort of associate it with being, this tick box corporate exercise that we have to do it to get to the next gateway, which completely undermines the value of market research. And there's this, we talk about this idea of the corporate environment. We look within the building at North Star at sort of organisational psychology and how we have to try and get over that. People have a preconception of market research. If it looks like market research, if it smells like market research, people might sort of say, oh, I don't want to hear it, that's it. What we need to do is try and make it not look and smell like market research anymore, to actually excite people to appreciate that it's often they're creative people that are commissioning the research and that want to hear the research, and we should be really engaging them in the right way. And we're researchers. We spend all of our life surrounded by marketing and telling other brands how to better sort of create products or brand themselves or market themselves. And we actually need to do that ourselves and think, okay, how can we create products? How can we brand our products? And how can we market our products for our consumers, which are the people within these organizations?
So are we almost talking about a rebranding, if you will, of the industry? Did you go that far?
I think almost rebranding might miss the point, because I think we've all tried to rebrand it. We've also said we're not going to talk about market research, we're going to talk about insight. You know, that was the big buzzword, wasn't it? But then insight even now has become a little bit sort of passé for some people, and it's, okay, what's the next buzzword we can use? But I think just looking at the naming or the branding is kind of missing a point. The change needs to be much more profound. It needs to be actually looking at how people are trying to communicate ideas, and not even communicate ideas, how they're trying to conceive of the methodologies to have the biggest effect. The case study that myself and Steve Hill from Jaguar Land Rover will be talking about is one where we were trying to develop one of their core products within Land Rover, and it was tight customer research, and it had to cover 11 countries, which spanned 6 continents. It covered mature, brick, and beyond brick. It was incredibly complex in just its intermediate objectives, let alone when you go to the higher level goal of having to sort of unite disparate markets. And to do that, we created this suite of products that sort of tried to disrupt what people were expecting from market research. So it went a lot further than just trying to rebrand or rename. It was much more of a sort of more of a fundamental shift that I think everyone could benefit from just thinking about a little bit more.
Yeah, this sounds really interesting. And can you tell us when your talk's going to be and what time at the actual event, so anybody that's going or that's even want to keep on top of it on social can kind of look out for it?
Yes, of course. So it's called The Power of the Oblique, and we are on Monday, and I believe it's 11:30, 11:20 or 11:30, one of the two. I should really know that. Monday around 11:30, and we're first on in our slot as well. And the other speakers actually in the session are also very interesting, having seen what they're going to present to.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll get people to have a look out for them too. Rhiannon, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in Venice.
Lovely, thank you.